This movie, set in 1790s Scotland, attempts to blend samurai lore with a gritty Western revenge tale. Unfortunately, the result is a muddled, uninvolving misfire that squanders its intriguing premise. This movie is bogged down by a thin script, one-dimensional characters, and a lack of narrative momentum that leaves its stylish visuals feeling hollow. The film centers on Tornado, a young Japanese woman who, alongside her father Fujin, runs a samurai-themed puppet show in the desolate Scottish Highlands. When Tornado impulsively steals gold from a ruthless gang led by Sugarman and his resentful son Little Sugar, she sparks a deadly chase across a bleak landscape. What follows is a revenge-driven cat-and-mouse game that draws heavily on Akira Kurosawa and Sergio Leone. However, it lacks their depth or intensity. Kôki brings a quiet determination to Tornado, but her character is frustratingly underdeveloped, reduced to a cipher whose motivations shift from boredom to vengeance without much emotional weight. Tim Roth's Sugarman is a menacing presence, spitting venomous dialogue with his usual flair. But he's a caricature of a villain, lacking the nuance to make his cruelty compelling. Jack Lowden's Little Sugar, burdened by a toxic father and son dynamic, hints at complexity, but his arc fizzles out in a predictable and unsatisfying way. The supporting cast, including a briefly amusing Rory McCann, feels like window dressing, with little to contribute to the story's stakes. The movie's script is the film's biggest stumbling block, prioritizing quirky flourishes like the puppet show's blood-squirting props over character development or a coherent narrative. The non-linear structure, with an extended flashback after a frenetic opening, saps the film of urgency, and the constant foot chases across barren landscapes grow monotonous. While the cinematography captures the windswept Scottish terrain with an eerie, fog-laden beauty and the production design adds charming folksy touches, these aesthetic strengths can't mask the story's lack of substance. The score tries to inject tension with shrill strings, but it often feels at odds with the plodding pace. The film's attempt to explore themes of greed and fractured family ties feels half-hearted, with parent-child relationships gestured at but never deeply examined. Tornado's journey from rebellion to embracing her father's samurai code could have been a poignant coming-of-age arc, but it's rushed and lacks emotional resonance. Comparisons to John Wick or The Nightingale only highlight this movie's shortcomings. Its action is too restrained to thrill, and its psychological depth too shallow to move. At a lean 91 minutes, this movie avoids overstaying its welcome, but brevity can't compensate for its lack of imagination or impact. The movie's ambition to fuse Eastern and Western genre tropes is admirable, but the execution feels like a pastiche that never coalesces into something fresh or engaging. It's not worth to watch this in theaters. Just wait on your streaming service.